Okay, we are live. All right, so look at my hair real quick before I get on into it. It was cuter earlier today, and it's just gotten puffier and puffier, and I haven't done anything to it, but that's all right. We're gonna roll with it. We're gonna roll with it the way it is. Let me try to make myself look cute enough for you guys. So look, the title of this is "Are We Creating a New Breed of Angry Black Women?" I should probably put a question mark on this. Um. This is the thumbnail you selected to get in here. What is happening? What's happening? So now look, I know that I am not considered like the guru of these YouTube streets, but um I was at work today working on something and I happened to put on a couple of videos on YouTube and I was listening to a couple of women who are much more popular in this YouTube space dealing with Black women issues. And although I agree with many of their talking points, I do have a level of discernment, right? And I think what helps me is that I don't have the opportunity to dedicate an extraordinary amount of cycles to other people's content, right? I do listen to other people. I don't want to make it seem like I don't listen to anybody's content. No, no, no. I do. I think the thing is because time is such a precious commodity, I have to be I don't even know what word I want to use. I've been enjoying some light libation since I don't have to work tomorrow, being that I am a veteran. So tomorrow's Veterans Day. But I think the thing is for me, I don't have tons of free time to dedicate or free cycles to dedicate to everyone else's channels, right? And yes, I do listen to other content. Where I'm going with this is I had some moments today where I could listen and ponder. I was able to listen and think about some things. And I was listening to several of these content creators who have a much larger platform than mine. And although it's feast or famine for me, I will say this. I was listening to these women and I'm like, I know oftentimes people say things like, "Who hurt you?" But I literally was thinking, "Who hurt you? Who hurt you? Who hurt you?" So let me just say this. Neither none of us are unique as far as being um protected from hurt, from subversive behavior, from betrayal, from rejection from a love interest or something along those lines. But I was listening to these content creators and I don't want to bring up black men into this. I'm speaking strictly about black women. We're on all of these journeys. We've got health journeys, self help journeys, luxury journeys, soft life journeys, all these things. And I feel like much of it is a little bit like smoke and mirrors. We haven't gotten to the bottom of where we're at with it. I don't think we're getting honest with some things. So when I was listening to these content creators, many of which many of you may be subscribed to, and although they have good content, I'm like, these are some hurt women. I listen to women express themselves about um, older Black women. Now, let me just say this. I am considered Gen X. I'm 46 years old. Okay. So I was born in 1976. And Although I agree with many of those things that they talk about. For example, we talk about how there are women who are older than us who have passed down some harmful advice and I don't even know what word I want to use, things that are within the culture. I don't think that they are unique to our culture. I just think that we just run with certain things much harder in our culture. I will say this. I recognize that are older Black women who have endured much and have passed on some harmful things that have been taught in the community. Things such as just stick by somebody no matter what they've done, as long as you have a man, blah, 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 blah. I think absolving men of having standards, that type of thing. But this is the difference. I think I am intelligent enough to understand that women who are older than me, they were brought up in another time. I think much of what they've had to deal with or the ways that they've dealt with things were coping mechanisms. Were they right? No. What I don't want to do is demonize a group of women who have endured a lot. And instead of trying to, it's like, yes, you can hold them accountable, but I think for me, if I'm really on a self-help journey, on a health journey, on a mental health journey, on a soft life journey, all these journeys that these Black women are on, right? And I keep saying that because I'm being a little bit petty. These Black women, right? Sorry, I'm on my computer, like that's on my knee. I feel like I don't need to just talk about it. I need to be about it. I don't need to spend a ton of time demonizing a group of women. Like, I get it. There's been some things that have been done and shared in my lifetime that I don't think is those things are not healthy. But instead of hyper focusing on what they have done, like you can call out certain things. I feel like what I have to do is be responsible for living the life that I want to live. Now, I know people are probably not going to receive that, right? Because I'm in what's called the sandwich generation. I'm like what's considered on the young side of Gen X, not too far away from millennial. It's easy to be outraged. It's easy to fall on that, to be outraged, to be angry. In the process of these women who talk about how there are men who profit off of Black women's outrage, I think there's a blind spot. They have a blind spot. They don't realize that it's subtle what they're doing too. They are also profiting off of the Black women outrage, the Black woman anger. Okay. Because they have not dealt with certain things. And so they know that if they can say certain things and engage in certain rhetoric, they can get women in their comment section and get them all riled up. I'm like, wait a second. As an auntie, I would say, I'm not quite old, but I'm old enough. I'm like, wait a second. Are you not doing the same thing? Are you not profiting off of Black women rage? What are we doing here? What are we doing? What is happening? So these women who, in my opinion, are intelligent women, engaging, charismatic women, they also know the right trigger words to get Black women riled the F up. So look, let me just say this. If you're new to my channel, I'm the Black Opinionated Woman, also known as a Bow. If you're finding any sort of value in what I'm saying, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and hit the like button too. I think, you know, I, e- they're not pulling a Jedi mind trick on me. I just want to make this clear. Some of the Black women content creators, they know exactly what they're doing. Although I agree with some of their talking points, some of these of which I've heard many years ago, amongst women who are my age, right? But we weren't necessarily present on social media. Nevertheless, I want to make this clear, and I don't know how many people are going to catch this. Some of these Black women content creators are quite cunning. They're cunning because they know there's certain things they can talk about that will trigger Black women. So while they're quite skilled at deflecting and pointing the finger at these ridiculous Black men, and they are correct, they are also doing the same thing. Now, you can probably go back at my channel and look at some of the videos and cherry pick tiny pieces of information. Go ahead and do it. I don't care. I'm just gonna be like, yeah, I said it, right? But what I am saying is I believe we have content creators out here who know how to rile the Black women up, because some of these women have not really challenge themselves in terms of critical thinking. So the content itself is pretty good, but they know how to get Black women riled up. And so what they do is they continuously engage in these same talking points. I think that those channels, though, are still necessary because at the end of the day, I think Black women need to hear from them. But I will say, I feel like we're creating a new breed of Black women that are quite angry. So, although we claim we don't care and this, that, and the other, I'm like, yes, you do. You do. You do. Let me tell you something. I have conversations with Black men often. All right. And it's easy to be outraged. It's much harder to be willing to listen. I don't always agree. And yes, let me tell you something. I do challenge offline. I challenge in conversations offline. You can ask my buddy CBR Kid. We stay going at it. I think we might have been related in another lifetime. He might be my brother or something. Like he could have been a twin or something. Um, we're creating a new breed of Black women. But see, what's happening is I'm seeing it's subtle. It's subtle what's happening. So there's the obvious Black woman, but now we've got this educated Black woman who is quite skilled in slicing and dicing with her words. And what I'm saying is the Black women who are enraged and outraged about these Black men, of which their talking points are valid. What I think people are not catching is these women are quite cunning with their language because they know the trigger words to get Black women outraged too. And that's what's bringing the views and stuff to their channel. They're getting them in their chat. The fact of the matter is, these women who are hyper focused on Black men and hyper focused on the older Black women, these women are angry. I don't think they've dealt with some things. Let me tell you something. It would be really easy for me to get on this platform and talk about all the ways I've been wronged. Well, I haven't been wronged too bad by Black men, but I can talk about the ways that Black men have wronged me. I can talk about, check this out. I can talk about all the ways that dark-skinned Black women have wronged me. Clutch the pearl. I can talk about all the ways that, older Black women have wronged me. I can talk about how all the white do you see where I'm going? Where's the upside? Where's the healing? So what happens is you got all these Black women out here on these channels who are talking as if they're going through all this healing, and they're talking about they're going to talk to their, therapist. They need new therapists. Are they doing the work? I'm listening to the language, and look, I am not perfect because, like, when that whole stuff was happening with Offset, no, what's the guy from the Migos? Like, they all have the same. I don't know, Offset, the Future, the Migos guy, the Takeover guy. I don't know. I'm not even into it. So they're all the one and the same or not the same. I don't know. They may be in the same group or not. I don't know. When all that was happening last week or so, I was irritated because I was embarrassed for the community. I'm like, are we serious right now? So, yes, I am not perfect, but what I will say is I'm looking at these Black content creators, the women, the ones who have a much bigger platform. I'm like, ooh, how many people are catching how cunning you really are? Very cunning. These women are just creating a whole army that follow them. They're tapping into that rage, just like the whacked out manosphere is tapping into the young men who are enraged. These women out here on on this platform, they're tapping into Black women rage. And then what we'll do is we're claiming that we're doing this, we're doing that, we're I don't know, we're on all these freaking journeys. We got so many freaking journeys. Like I said, we've got the soft life journey, the health journey, the mental health journey, the this journey, the last journey. These women, let me tell you, it reminds me of like when I think about now, look, I don't want people to lose me here. It reminds me of what I think about when they talk about false prophets and stuff like that. I'm not calling these women false prophets. What I am saying is there are women out here who follow these content creators blindly, like freaking lemmings. Lemmings. Okay. So when these black content, the Black women content creators, when they are, I guess when they need to put out a video, they know exactly the trigger words. They know exactly what they're doing. All they have to do is bring up something on colorism, and there's times when you need to, right? Like if you see something happening, yes. But they know. Oh, they know. They're so good. All they gotta do is bring up a Black man. They know it's gonna get women riled up. I'm like, well, wait a second. If you're so busy caring, if you're focused on the caring and feeding a Black woman, then care and feed them. And caring and feeding them doesn't necessarily mean you have to engage in profiting off of the Black women anger. Now, I'm bright enough to know, of course, I'm into myself. I'm borderline narcissist. I'm bright enough to know that positivity, positive reinforcement, providing solutions don't necessarily bring in the views and that type of thing. Fortunately for me, I don't eat off a YouTube channel. I am so small of a channel that what I'm saying, I don't know how many people are going to catch this. But I want to make this clear. These Black women content creators who stay on 10, darn near putting 20 on 10, they know exactly what they're doing. It requires you to put your glasses on or at least refocus your lens. They know exactly what they're doing because I was watching today I actually took the time to listen. And then after I was like, I think my ADD must have kicked in. I had to click out. Now, um I am not anti these content creators, but I see it for what it is. I believe we are creating a new breed of angry Black women. I had to do a mental check on myself. I'm like, look, it's okay to be passionate about things, but I can't be passionate about talking about freaking Black dudes all the time. These women need to heal. They're not healed. For you to be on 10 that much, this is why I say Black women have failed. And I'm talking about my generation or maybe the ones above me. I'm considered Gen X. We have failed our youth. They don't know how to talk about anything other than Black men, hair, and beauty. They are hyper focused on Black men. I'm like, focus on something else. Focus on something else. I feel like if they were talking to more women, and maybe they are, but then they need to change their circle. They need to be talking to more women who are going to say, what is your real deal? Admit it. You're angry. So you're angry. Say it. Scream it. You're hurt. Say you're bitter. Say it. And now what? Say it. Cry. Write about it. Put it in a book. Put it in a song. It is easy to be angry. Last night, I had a conversation with my mother about some other stuff that happened in my family. Every family has a level of dysfunction. And I remember saying to my mom, I was like, when I started drawing boundaries for myself, I didn't even realize how much happier I had become. It happened over time, right? I drew boundaries. I cut off toxic relationships. It was intentional. I was acting with intention. Now, I'm 46, which isn't terribly old, but it's older than what a lot of these content creators who are out here on this platform, at least I believe they are. I'm older than them. I'm like, who do you have in your circle who's being honest? I don't think anybody's being honest. I don't think people are getting honest. Hold on a second. I got to yell at my child. All right, I'm back. If they had women who weren't preoccupied with co-signing and feeding their anger. Hold on, my husband's coming through. I don't want you to see him in the background. I'm using my avatar here. They need to have women that they are surrounded with that is going to tell them the truth. They need to be surrounded with women who are telling them the truth. But what I am saying is I am noticing, I'm telling you, I feel like I have a level of discernment. These women are creating, how like the whacked out manosphere, I guess calls all of these weirdo followers the simps. I don't know what the female version is called, but these women are doing the exact same thing. And I'm calling it out. I'm calling it out. So I don't know how long. Hey, I hope that my husband's gonna go upstairs soon because he's making a whole lot of noise. I'm trying to finish up on my live. Well, look, since he's trying to come up here and make all this noise, I guess I need to go ahead and end this. Look, I said what I said. Let me just change the angle of this and then I can take it off my avatar. I said what I said. The only thing I can say is this: these women need to stop stoking and feeding the fire of these women, okay? Because we're creating a breed of women who are angrier than ever. So we're putting in the work as far as like the things that like you can put one foot in front of the other and you can measure. The things that you can measure, right? Like obtaining a higher salary, obtaining formal education, obtaining a home, obtaining land, obtaining experiences through travel. But what we're not doing is healing on the inside. We're not doing it. What is happening? What's happening? All right, so look, let me get on out of here. These are just my both thoughts. Leave a comment.